lots of stuff to do the next few days. Yesterday I finished pretty much as much of the fence as I could. It was all the way along, it's all covered, dug in. Had to leave a space for the hose to go through until I get the irrigation done. And I got that section over there still to fill in, not much. I broke my Sunday rule and finished that instead of resting. And also Vero and Jimmy brought over our shed. Look at that beauty. Looking like a gypsy camp here. But it's going to get painted. It's going to get cleaned up. It's going to be where we keep everything. It's great. So today I am going to get to work on this irrigation. That is my project for today. I have to connect some tubes that aren't connected. Here. This thing's so fiddly. You got to pour boiling water on the ends. This has got to come off. Pour boiling water on, and then you can move the junctions around and stuff because it stretches the plastic, but it's such a pain. But I need a T-junction there. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to check, see if they've got any potato sprouts underneath this hay. The hay thing just doesn't seem to be working for me very well here. And I want to start clearing more beds if I have time. A lot of stuff to do. I need to get more stuff in the ground though. Yeah, that's today. I'm going to be careful clearing the beds because a few days ago I got an ant or a wasp bite or something. And I don't know if you can see, it comes up in a big cyst on my thumb. So anyway, irrigation mainly is the plan. Okay, this is where I put the potatoes. You take potatoes with eyes, you put them in straw, and as they grow, the roots go into the ground, the leaves come up, and you keep burying them in straw. That's the theory. Let's see. Here's one. Yeah, that hasn't grown at all. That's just kind of dry. It's nothing. No, nothing. Nothing. I've been watering them. They're covered. See, lots of people are having success with straw, but it just doesn't seem to be working for me. I'm going to leave this another week and then I will check again. If it hasn't grown, then I will use this bed for something else. I'll plant potatoes directly into the soil. That's what I did over there, and they're going great. Alright, drip irrigation update. I wasn't looking forward to this because I thought it was going to be super fiddly, and I was right. It's almost finished. I've got these drip tape lines in the beds. The feed pipe comes along from down there. So the water comes through the feed pipe, through the drip tape lines, comes out very slowly and into the soil. I will now describe the problems that I have had. One is, again, I have limited tools, so whereas normally I would just pop down to Home Depot or wherever and get what I need, here I'm just kind of inventing stuff. So some of these have end caps. You'll see these are the ones that I'm not using yet. Some of these have end caps, which stops the water from coming out the end. Some of them are just tied up in knots or with wire, whatever I had around. My initial idea was to have each bed controllable with like a stopcock what I wanted to turn on, but it's all or nothing. That's what I've got. The other problem is a lot of these leak a little bit, so you've got to be very careful changing them in and out and getting the right ones. Another problem is that it's a very low pressure system, so any gain in height like I have here basically stops it from working so well. So I've got to run these under the hay rather than over the hay, which is kind of a pain. It can be something as small as going off one of these logs. I had to move them all so they go in and out of the logs. Another problem is, like, I want to cut this here and rotate this section of pipe just a little bit so these point this way rather than this way like these ones do, because it makes it more difficult to get a straight piece of tape, watering tape, so the water goes through. But I don't have connectors. I've used up all the connectors I have. So that's just going to be like it is for now. Another problem, because it's such a low pressure system, you can't just feed the water in the end. It would just come running right back out. So you have to have it higher and then get the right pressure coming out of the tap or the hose. So I've been propping it on this bucket. It's not very nice, not very well done. And then having it run through. Again, because of my lack of connectors, I've had to MacGyver connections here and then dig it down to make it connect. Not very efficient. These red pipes, which I was planning on, I couldn't get to connect at all. Ideally, I would have an end on the hose and an end on this pipe that I can screw one into the other, and then the pressure out of the hose is transferred directly into the pressure into this. I don't have the parts, it's on my list. For now, this works as a supplement. It's not working yet as my entire watering system. I'm going to keep going bit by bit, and eventually, hopefully, have it work as the main part of the system. I imagine I'm still going to have to spot water in places, but for now, this is going to help a little bit, I think, as long as I don't blow over and smash all my plants. These are these paraíso seeds that just grow everywhere. So that was my morning's work. It's very frustrating. You can see how it would work well once you got the whole thing set up and running, as long as you have the ability to get the parts that you need in a relatively short time frame. For now, there's a lot of waiting around and fiddling and just making shit up. Excuse my French. That's where I am. Now I'm going to start clearing row number 3, but I'm going to start from that end where it's in the shade. Now that I have this watering system, I can reach that end. I can reach row number 3 at all because the hose doesn't reach. So we'll see what I can do. New bed, bed 3. I've gone through half of it with this, breaking up the soil. Now I'm going to go take out all the roots, twigs, anything that's going to grow. So this is what I do. I can't wear gloves because I can't feel what I'm doing. I go through by hand and I pull out all the roots of this grass. Pat, this is for you.
Aunt Pat suggested that I do this with a rake, but this is grass with rhizome. It's just too deep, and even after I go through by hand and I go down to about wrist deep, there's still things I missed that come up later. But I imagine, I hope that every year it gets easier in the bed and there's less and less grass and stuff to pull up. I try to get the whole root, but sometimes it's just too deep and I don't think it's worth the effort. So I'll do this for the whole bed. It'll take me a little while, but I think it's worth it to save in weeding in the long run. I try to think of it as therapeutic, with the bugs eating me alive and my hands getting bitten by fire ants. Life is suffering, right? Don't the Buddhists say that or something? Silly people. Yeah, see, there's one in there. It's just too deep. I could dig it out with the trowel, but I'll wait for it to grow and just keep plucking it as it comes. And out of this bed, about 2 meters by 1.5 meters, I'll probably get 2 wheelbarrows worth of roots. Now all these roots, this is all like carbon I'm taking out of the soil. So there's going to be, I guess, like a carbon deficit in the soil this year. But it all goes on the compost, and hopefully next year we'll go back into the beds. There you go, 30 centimeters done. There we go, that's a third of a bed dug through and derooted by hand. That's what came out. 1.5, 2 wheelbarrows. Now I'll rake it over, cover it again for tonight. Keep going tomorrow. Here you can see the drips coming from the drip irrigation that I got going. That's been going for about an hour. It just drips out very slowly. I'm not sold yet. I'm not absolutely confident. I guess if you have the drip tape down, you plant along the tape, I guess. Who knows? Is it dripping everywhere? Yeah, I guess so. But like the watermelons need more water than that. And yeah, I don't have any along there. Well, it's a start. It's going to help. You just leave that on for a few hours a day and no water gets wasted. Is the theory. That's it for today.